We have another Somali relationships story here. This is more like this is more of a question, I would say, but I'm interested in hearing this. The title of this says Low Self-Esteem Somalis. We all know Somalis are very proud, some in a good way, some in a bad way. That's why it's so hard to talk about having low self-esteem, because the people around me are either very good at hiding their insecurity or truly don't seem to have any. At least it's not something that stops them from moving forward in life. My insecurity has stopped me from so many opportunities, and I'm trying to work on it. I can't imagine myself getting married in this mental state, even if I worked on all the physical things that I don't like about myself, because I don't like myself on the inside either. Anyone who struggles with this, please help me. So this is a Somali person that's asking for advice on self-esteem, but is also conflicted about the high level of confidence in the Somali community from a person-to-person basis. So
I think everybody suffers from insecurity. I'll keep it a buck. Like, even the most strongest of individuals that you know has something that they're not so confident about, you know?
facts.
I'll tell you about myself. Like, growing up, I was the fat guy. Like, and then up until like...
You were a chubby kid. Don't do that.
Nah,
don't do that.
You remember,
don't appropriate my struggle. Fuck off.
He said, don't appropriate my struggle.
Don't appropriate my struggle, John. Fuck off. I seen you. You and me know each other. You and me know each other. Don't do that.
I was large and in charge, bro. I was...
Large and in charge. Yeah, round of applause for that one.
Listen. He grew out that beard. I think that saved his life.
That changed everything.
My boy's always been handsome. My boy's always been handsome, though. He's always been handsome.
It, like, up until, alhamdulillah, puberty, where I naturally lost a little bit of weight, and then I went to the gym, and then I got more confident in my body. Like, even now, I still get flashbacks of, like, not feeling confident about myself, even though I'm not even that kid anymore. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, there's just, like, in my head, there's, like, so much trauma from back in the day that it still kind of relates to who I am today, even though it doesn't really, it's not me anymore, right? So I get where he's coming from, where even though I put on this facade of, like, yo, I'm confident, I'm strong, nothing bothers me, in the head I'm still kind of suffering. Even though, fam, I could go swimming, take off my shirt, like nobody would say anything, right? But in my head I still see that chubby little kid. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's something I probably have to work on myself. But it's like I understand where he's coming from, where people try to like conceal what they're scared to show outside, you know? But to that point, I think it's natural. Like, no, everybody's dealing with their own demons without knowing, you know? And I to the point, I don't think it's a Somali thing. I think it's a human being thing. Definitely. Not everybody's confident in every component of their lives, you know? Right. It's your ability to be understand what you have to work on and just be able to work towards that. You know what I mean? That's how I think, at least.
100,000.
What do you guys think?
I guess for me, you know, there was a time, very long time ago, where I felt like those things would have held me back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think for me, whatever things I am insecure about, and I don't have many, alhamdulillah, I don't have many, but whatever things I am insecure about, I remind myself, hey, listen, if I ever think something negative about myself, I say to myself, who told you that?
Yeah.
Voila. And that's one of what I would advise this person. If you think you're, you know, not, you know, pretty, or you're not handsome, because I don't know if it's a boy or a girl. I mean, girls can be handsome, right?
I don't think so.
No? No. So why can niggas be beautiful, but girls can't be handsome?
That's a great point.
You know what?
That's a great point.
We'll spin the block on it. But if you don't think you're attractive, or you don't think you're funny, or you don't think you're cool, who told you that?
You're saying it's your surroundings.
Yeah, who told you that? Because
your environment is telling you what you think.
You'll find out. A lot of times people think things about themselves and nobody have ever told them.
Right.
Nobody's ever verbalized that to them.
Right.
So then you're saying to yourself, you're like, fuck, I told myself that.
Right.
You know? Somebody said to me once, they said, nice, have you ever heard of shadow boxing? He's like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, I've heard of shadow boxing. He's like, that shadow that you're boxing is like your sort of your negative thoughts, whatever, right? So he's like, do you want to be a nigga who just shadow boxes his whole life, or do you want to make that shadow tap?
Okay, bars, bro.
Do you want to make the shadow tap? I said, yeah, I'll make the fucking shadow tap. You better believe I'll make it tap. And he's like, then yo, you gotta kill that insecurity.
Right.
So every time I feel that, I make the shadow tap.
Okay.
Well,
So you're saying, are you your biggest critic?
But I'm also my biggest supporter.
Okay.
Well, interesting that you brought up that person that told you about the shadow boxing metaphor, right? Because I feel like in the Somali community, since this is a Somali person, I'm assuming too.
Yeah, this was a Somali person who said it to me too. Right. Yes.
So I think in some ways too, the the Somali community itself can influence you or can build your confidence in a sense. And I'll give you guys an example. Like when I was a kid, very active, very small, very like, miskeen looking, innocent, right? So um I was always just thought of as like an afterthought in a sense, right? But I had a big personality, I like to think, right? And it wasn't until like I got to like maybe like preteen, like 12, 13 years old that I started asserting my own personality. But I always kept hearing the phrase growing up, nin rug batai, you know? And
Yeah.
a lot of people in my life would tell me that, my dad, my uncles, just men around me and stuff like that, nin rug batai, And that helped shape my confidence too. It made me a little bit more understanding of who I am.
You're a man.
Yeah, you're a man, like in the direct translation is you're a man, So in that sense, it helped me kind of understand myself a little bit better and stop putting myself towards like the back of the room, more in front of the room. But those words always were constantly in my head, like "Nimrok Bata," and I was always the oldest brother of the family, so I always had to be looked at for certain things too. So like those things kind of shape you. Those influences in the Somali community kind of shape you
Yeah.
because you have a defined role, you have a defined characteristic trait that they want you to be a part of or be like, and that kind of helps mold you. Could be bad, could be good, but depending on who your environment is, which is a really great point that you made, it can make or break you, right? So I think this person's just missing some support system.
Yeah.
And they're kind of being a little bit too hard on themselves. But yeah, I mean, just try and think of yourself. I'm a glass half full type of person, I like to think of myself as an in progress person. I'm always going to be in progress. I've dealt with a lot of things, covered a lot of ground in my life. I've made a lot for myself in the time that I've lived, but there's still a lot of room to grow, So I like to think about it like that in that sense. So I would advise this person to kind of look at life in a different lens for once, try to be in the third person perspective if they can. But they need a better support system. That's first and foremost, they need to lean on people to understand that they're one way and can be another way.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen overnight, but everybody's a work in progress.
Yeah. I also random, but I also do think Somali people are some of the most supportive people.
Extremely, yeah.
However, it's like
to a detriment
it's
almost.
like two sides of a coin. It's like
We talked about this in our episode. Remember?
Yeah.
We're like, yo, we talked about this.
like Somali people are some of the most supportive people, at the same time can be one of the most destructive community.
Yeah.
Where they can like lift you up and I love this aspect of our community where they lift you up, they support each other, but then at the same time, if you do mess up or there is an error in your ways, they're the first community to bring you down. It's like there's no mistakes allowed. And I'm not sure what this guy went through, but it's kind of hard to mess up in front of people who will never forget.
Interesting.
Like
point.
I still have people who remember stuff from 10 years ago that I did. I'm like, yeah, bro, I'm a grown ass man now.
You're bringing that up now?
Yeah, like I was
That's wild.
You know what I mean? But I'm not to say that our community is bad, but I'm just saying it's always good to remember where you come from and know to keep certain people at bay. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's just what I think.
And to sort of horseback off that point, I think, I relate to your story where it's like, I've been a fat boy my whole life,
Yeah.
I was a late bloomer, I was a late bloomer, man. My voice changed late. I got the height late. Everything that I
You got
needed.
the height late?
I got the height late.
I don't remember. I feel like you were tall, but I don't
Bro,
I didn't know you in high school. So how tall were you throughout high school?
Bro, when I started high school, when I started the 9th grade, I was 5'6". When I started grade 9.
Dang, man.
I don't remember that.
Right? I was like 5'7" when I
Bro,
started.
I'm a batic, bro. Look at you.
Well, I hit it like 16, but my voice changed at like 17. So
Wow.
everything I needed to be successful
Came
Yeah.
late,
didn't come to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like there, and like you said, there are people who hold you to who you were 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Like I know I run into people from high school and they'll be like, oh my God, nice. Look at you. Da, 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 or, they'll bring up stupid things that you did. And I'm like, yo, I'm a fucking guy now. Talk to me with respect. Like,
Guy, nigga.
I'm outside. You know who the fuck I am?
Huh? Tell him.
That's true though.
This neighborhood nice, you heathen. You're gonna
Mhm.
talk to me with some fucking respect.
Come on, man.
But to this person, guy or girl, doesn't matter what you are. The only thing that I can guide you on and that I can help you with is I can tell you what I did. And maybe it'll work for you because it worked for me. You gotta lie. A lot.
Okay.
Like, what type of lie? What
Talk
type?
about it.
Like, you gotta convince yourself you're the baddest thing on two legs.
Delusion
Oh,
wins,
fair.
man. Let's be real.
Wallahi. There's no greater witness than God. Wallahi. At a young age, I think I was like 17 at the time. At a young age, I said, yo, from this day forward, niggas are gonna talk to me with some fucking respect or you're not gonna talk to me at all.
17 when you became a guy?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh shit.
I mean, not in a great way, but like,
yeah, okay.
I did a lot of things in between
Little ups
that.
and downs
But
Here we are.
I decided from that day, I would look myself in the mirror and say, yo, you're the fucking man.
Okay.
And I'll tell myself that every day.
So it's kind of like confidence that you put in yourself.
Yeah, and I told myself stuff about myself that to this day I believe. Even though I know it's not true, but I believe it.
Fair enough.
Like, I tell myself that I'm God's gift to earth. Now, you're going to build yourself up to a very high level. And eventually your common sense will sort of level you out, but it'll leave you at a base like above it what you were. Like,
right.
think of it in like working out terms, right?
Yeah,
like you're going to build muscle,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to build like a base for yourself,
Mm-hmm.
but then you're going to pass what your base was before, right?
Right.
You're basically just upping the ante every time,
Mm-hmm.
right? So for this person, start lying to yourself about small things.
100%.
Okay.
If you're wearing a fit and you really got that shit on, you'd be like, yo, wallahi, nobody could wear this better
Look
than
at this
me.
drip. Are you kidding me?
What? What? Like, and it starts with small things.
100%. Yeah.
Like, my mom even told me, she's like, I noticed the change in you when you would come out and like you're wearing like the Dusty's fit and you're like, it's me.
Yeah.
This that fit right here.
I got yo, listen. Let me tell you what I had on.
Go ahead.
I had on the sweatpants with the open leg. Not the tapered leg, the open leg.
Open leg.
Ooh,
The fucking bell bottoms.
the big wide open.
Yeah, them wide joints.
Yeah, okay.
Gotcha.
I had the bell bottoms on. Well, I had my toes out and some sandals.
Sheesh.
Mind you, my toes are beat.
Yeah,
They're just ugly. They're just ugly toes.
that's
They
some real good like
they look,
Canada
they look,
energy.
they look like little kielbasa's. They're so beat.
Yeah.
All right.
And I was wearing my wife bless her.
Okay.
Wife bless her.
Yeah.
Yo, I got a round of applause for that one, man.
Hey, appreciate
Wife
it.
bless her?
Hey, listen, hey. Never
We're in a
leave
new era.
home.
We're in a new era.
Never leave home without it,
We're in a
baby.
new era, man.
Never leave home without it. 2024 beating women is crazy.
Come on, man.
Women fight back, bro. It's crazy. It's crazy, bro.
Shout out Iman Khalid.
Oh my god. Shout out to you.
Shout out Iman Khalid. Shout out, man.
But I was wearing that and my hair was like mosh up, right?
Yeah.
And my mom's saying to me, "Nice, what the fuck are you doing?"
Mhm.
And I said, "What am I not doing?"
What am I not
What
doing?
am I not
a
doing?
bar, yo. This guy's full of
Bro,
bars.
I was 18 years old. What the? This
Stop.
lady would have slapped the taste out of my mouth. Who was I?
Facts.
But in my heart, I believed it, even though it was not warranted.
Mm-hmm.
So my advice to you, brother or sister, just start convincing yourself that you are God's gift to earth. I promise you. Give it 6 months. Give it 6 months. Niggas say 21 days to form a habit. That's cap. Give yourself 6 months in the lab.
In the lab. Wow.
Wallahi, in the lab is really your bathroom mirror. Just give yourself 6 months in the lab.
Yeah, man.
Look yourself, say, I'm the fucking man
Yeah.
or woman.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the fucking truth.
No cap, bro. I'm not gonna lie, man. That's actually some real spit there, because like the positive affirmations will really, like, living through your own delusions will help you in life. You know what I mean?
Because again, if you tell yourself these things, even like if you lie to yourself, eventually the lies become the truth.
Facts.
Like in my head, I believed that was the truth. So what did I do? I went on and became the truth. That's what I did. Like, you know what I mean? And everything that comes with that. Now, granted, you're gonna stumble a bit because you know what? You're gonna hit a level where you're like, oh my god, there's nobody sicker than me. You're gonna be like on your real moolah,
Yeah.
you know, your
It's
real
gonna
moolah
get
the first
real
shit.
big, yo.
You know, you're gonna be a real moolah the first. You can't fucking face me.
You can't face me.
Miserable.
What's that guy's
Pissed.
name? The
Moolah the first,
yeah.
yeah.
Moolah first. God damn,
You
bro.
can't face me.
You're gonna be out there buying
Miserable.
Wendy's menus and shit.
Have to go pack a jam and butter sandwich.
Stop, man.
Bum.
Stop.
But you're gonna hit a level of confidence where you have to know how to taper it back.
Mhm.
But I promise you, once you get there, wallahi, nobody can knock you off that throne. Wallahi.
This might be
Wallahi.
another villain arc happening right now. We're 2 for 2, guys. We're building villains today. We're building villains today.
No. I want you to believe in what you've got,
Mhm.
whatever it is. Like, yo, you don't have to be the tallest person. You don't have to be the best looking person, the smartest, the most. You don't have to be any of that. As long as you stay true to who you are, everything else will fall into place. Wallahi. And I know it sounds like a cliche, but wallahi, it's the truth. I
No
promise you that.
100,000. I 100% agree with that, man. Really.
I'm living proof of it. I'm living proof of it.
The guy, bro. He's the guy, man.
You know,
The
listen.
guy, the guy
there-
from 17.
There were a lot of people, you know, who never, I wouldn't say never believed, but a lot of people who never gave me my due. I'm not saying that you owe me anything, but like, yo, now when you see me, you gotta bend the fucking knee when you see me now.
Look at me now.
I mean, yeah, you gotta bend the fucking knee when you see me now.
Look at me now.
It's the king of the West, bitch. You better bend the fucking knee, you know? But all jokes aside, just tell yourself these things. Tell yourself these things. And of course, you know, pray. You know what I mean? Keep your forehead to the ground. Be humble where you need to be.
Mhm.
When you're in front of your Lord, you're not a guy. You're a slave. Remember
Yeah.
that.
Let's be real.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And then when you rise again, you ask Allah to help you strengthen that resolve and those ideals. And you know what I mean? You know what's funny? Somebody was pointing this out to me. I feel like I've been yapping all day.
No,
No,
go
go ahead,
ahead,
no,
go
no.
ahead.
Somebody was pointing out to me. They said, yo, you know the theme song for the Boondocks is just a list of affirmations.
I understand.
I am the stone the builder refused. I am the visual. The inspiration that made ladies sing the blues.
Stick that in.
I am the spark that makes your idea bright. The same spark that lights the dark so that you can know. I am the ballad in your box, the bullet in the gun, the inner glow to let you know to call your brother son. It's all affirmations, right? Now, Muslims, we have a kind of like a sticky relationship with that because like Muslims will tell you can't really affirm something because, you know, you're not God, which is true. Like, there's no attribute you can apply to yourself that God didn't already really give you. You know what I mean?
That's true.
But I believe you have the potential to like do a lot of different things. You know what I mean? If you tell yourself I'm the stone to build your refuse, first of all, that's a Bible verse. If you're Muslim, don't be saying that. That's crazy.
What's going on?
It's something in the Bible. Don't be telling other Muslims you're the stone to build your refuse. That's crazy.
Keep that one out. No.
But you know, if you tell, like in my Instagram bio at Nice Meets World, it literally says I am the spark that makes your idea bright. And you know, this summer I've been teaching kids ESL, right? I've been teaching kids overseas kids, right? You seen I was giving them the real cheese moving silence like lasagna.
Yeah, the quote of the day. I saw every day.
Well, listen, I'm a fucking guy.
Nah, man.
Listen, the kids
I
on the chalkboard too. Is it?
Yo,
on the
I give them we're gonna talk about it. But I've been teaching these kids all summer, right?
Yeah.
And one of my kids, you know, I told her, you know, it was our last day of camp and she was really sad. And I gave her my bucket hat. Now, if you guys know, like bucket hats are my thing, right?
It's a trademark.
Yeah, it's one of my trademarks, right? So I gave her one of my favorite ones, right? I said, yo, listen, keep this. I said, every good idea I've ever had, I was wearing this hat.
Wow.
So I said, you're going to wear this hat. You know what I mean? And it's going to be the spark that makes your idea bright.
That's powerful, man.
And yo, it's like something clicked in her brain. She got it. You know, she's like, thank you.
Wow.
You know, and I said, yo, love.
Yeah, bro.
You know what I
mean? On a serious note, I really wish there was more people like you in the community when we were younger.
When I went to camp,
we all could have used that. We all could have used that.
Imagine somebody actually was there to tell us that, you know, to give us that inspiration.
We could have used that for real. A lot of guys would have went down better paths if they had that little extra. Yeah, you know what I mean.
I'm happy that you are supporting the community in ways that we never had growing up. You know,
that's my pleasure.
Would you ever be a teacher?
Honestly, I might. I'd consider it. Absolutely.
You'd be an amazing teacher, man.
Bro,
what age range would be beneficial for you? Where do you think you'd thrive?
Well, I taught two different ages. I taught 10 to 14 and I taught 15 to 18. So I taught like the gamut of kids, right?
Yeah.
That's almost the whole demographic of kids, right?
Yeah.
But I would teach either one. It'd be fine. I feel like middle schoolers, they're at their goofiest stage because like they're changing and like their hormones are coming into play and they're like borderline kid to teenagers. So they're like they're literally in the middle of the mix.
Transitionary period for sure.
And they need like that little extra, like somebody to grab them by the collar and say, relax.
Do better.
Yeah,
right?
Settle down.
But no, man, I had so much fun with my kids this summer. I had so much fun with them.
Nah, man, I need to see you doing more work with the youth, man.
Bro, I would write like I'm teaching them English, so I would write rap lines for them on the board. Like every day I'd write rap lines for them and we talk about it. Now, obviously, they see it, and I'm look at me trying to be a fucking slick guy. I would write down the quote, and then I'll put the rapper's Govey on the bottom.
Oh, okay.
I would see that too.
Yeah, I put the rapper's Govey on the bottom. Listen, that real G's moving silence like lasagna line had him spinning, like Siakam spinning.
I saw the video, bro. They were like,
they're putting it together. They're like,
it was like an equation, dog. It was really an equation on the board.
It was like you know that meme where that white guy's sitting and the equation is flying in the background.
Yeah, all the numbers, right?
It's all dawning on them at once. And then it's funny because I said, you know what? I said, figure how do we flip it like this? I'd be like, real G's moving silence like baloney. And then they're like, oh, it's a silent G. These are ESL kids, but they're figuring it out. They're so smart.
Yeah, man.
Because niggas are dumb. By the way, baloney has a G in it too.
Guys,
just in case you dummies didn't know.
Tap in.
Just in case. It's spelled Bologna. Just in case.
It always threw me off as a kid too, because I'd be like,
Bologna, right?
Yeah.
It's cooked.
Yeah, man, it's like.
But no, I had so much fun just being around them, and I don't know, man. It's fucked up to say, but like I've been catching myself the last like couple of weeks because you ever watch School of Rock?
Yeah.
Of course.
So you know how like when Jack Black is like, your kids touched me. And I'm pretty sure I've touched them.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know what he meant.
Yeah.
100%.
But it's cooked. Bro, I said that once by accident. I'm like, yo, man, these kids touched me. And I'm
Hold
like,
on.
Yo, you're not coming back next year?
You're like, hey, whoa,
no,
whoa,
like,
whoa.
man, I got the sentence out and I was like,
Yeah.
You had to check yourself.
I'm like, no, they touched my heart.
You're fact.
They touched my heart.
Mhm.
Because, yo, they're good kids, man.
No,
And-
that's
and-
amazing, man. I'm not
And
gonna lie.
I think every kid has the potential to, like, shine if you just,
Give them the
polish.
platform, right?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
Give them a little elbow grease, a little polish.
100%.
Up them out.
To that point, I just want to reiterate what you said. I think the brain is one of the strongest organs. If you reaffirm yourself and tell yourself something, to a certain point, you start to believe it, even though it might not be true. Like
Good or bad.
yeah, like was there Muhammad Ali that was like, I was the greatest before I said I was.
Yeah.
So I've always kept that at like right here. Like that's what I need to tell myself, because there are people who are going to be smarter than me. There's going to be people who are more beautiful than I am. There's going to be people who are better than me in whatever field, right? But they're not me.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I like to reaffirm, similar to what you do every morning, talk to yourself when you were 17, all the way to 6 months.
No, I mean, bro, listen, I did it for like a year straight, and then after that, I just believed. You know
But
what
I did that too, real talk. Like, but I did it more like I was just talking to myself in terms of like my room. When I was playing COD, during the COD lobbies, I was like, yo, you're incredible, bro. You're
I'm
doing
the guy right now. You kidding me? Top of the ladder right now? What do you mean?
But I feel like you just need, because you're your own biggest critique, right?
Yeah.
If you tell yourself such, then you are that.
Mhm.
However, if you tell yourself the opposite, then you'll become that as well. You know?
Can I ask you guys a question, and we'll round off this conversation?
ahead.
But do you think it's better to be too high on yourself or extremely low on yourself?
High,
Too high.
too high.
Why?
I would rather be a narcissist than somebody who
Than a pessimist.
yeah. You know what I mean?
Interesting. The way when you put it like that, yeah, that makes a whole lot.
Bro,
of sense.
narcissism has hope built into it.
Yeah.
Well, hope is quite literally built into narcissism.
Mhm.
Now, granted, it's not hope that's directed in the right place, but
Yeah,
it's still hope.
It's a lot of selfishness involved, but I understand what you're saying. Being a pessimist will not only ruin the path in front of you, but everyone around you will kind of disassociate.
I also
Right.
think there's an energy about it. You want to be around people who are good,
Mm-hmm.
who have good energy,
Mm-hmm.
who talk affirmative like thoughts,
Mm-hmm.
like things rub off on you. You are your closest 5 friends, right?
Yeah.
So if your fifth friend is somebody who is not the kindest to them, at a certain point that negative energy will rub off on you, right?
Interesting.
So that I like to surround myself with people who think that same way, compared to, like, I will never in my entire life talk down to myself. I may have messed up, I may have fucked up, but I will never internalize that, because things happen, mistakes happen, errors happen.
Right.
Mhm.
I'm not defined by my lowest point.
Mhm.
I'm actually defined by how I get up from that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I like to consider myself to believe that I am better than I was yesterday, Personally, for me, that's how I like to think.
What do you think, though? I'll finish it before we wrap it up. But what do you think?
I think, to be honest, like, it is easy. It's better to be more high on yourself,
Agreed.
so that, because I do agree with the sentiment that you are your biggest or your worst enemy, right? So if you're the ultimate low and you're not high, you're low on yourself to that point, it could be almost harmful to you physically, right?
Mhm.
But if you're too high on yourself, I think that you'll hit a brick wall eventually, and at some point, life will tell you you're not that guy, you're not that woman. So, yeah, I think it's easier to be higher on yourself,
Mm.
but there should be a balance, man. That's the main point, is that there should be a balance. The humbleness is
You know how I balance it out? Every positive thing I tell myself, I tell that same thing to other people.
Mhm.
I'll go and tell myself, you're the fucking guy. Then I'm gonna go see Jama. Well, you're a fucking guy. I'll go see Slim. Well, you're a fucking guy. And I mean it.
Yeah.
Like, that's how you sort of balance it out, so that it's not so much narcissism, it's more confidence expressed outwardly.
Right.
Because people will tell you there's a thin line between confidence, cockiness, narcissism.
Mm-hmm.
People never mention narcissism. They mention the first two, but like, you can be mad cocky, but then that can borderline into narcissism.
Yeah.
So I sort of try to alleviate that by, like, it's like spreading the pressure. Like, you're applying pressure everywhere.
Right.
It's like an icy hot. It's spreading. You know what I mean?
Fair enough. Yeah.
So you just try to spread that out forward. And, for our person who asked the question, I know you didn't ask it to us, but I hope you see this.
Mm-hmm.
We're already at 1,000 subscribers, so
Bang.
we outside. You know what I mean? We
Mhm.
outside. It's not your mom's podcast. We outside.
Come on, man. Big coffee
But
college.
we outside.
Talk about it.
But hopefully you see this, and
Mhm.
and please internalize what the brothers are telling you, because we're living proof of it.
Facts.
So,
Yeah, and if you have a story to share as well, let us know in the comments, man. We're gonna read that. We need to help these people out, man. People with identity issues, self-esteem issues. So tap in with us. Let us know what you think.
in the comments, message them on Instagram at Coffeebreakpodcast. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Go check it out.
All right, let's move on.